So you got Article 3, Section 1, Clause 2. It says that it's up to the state legislature to determine the state's electors that are going to go to the Electoral College. These are the only people that matter in the presidential election. Only the 538 electors in the Electoral College, and it's the state legislatures of each respective state. So Colorado State Legislature, Utah State Legislature, Montana State Legislature, they're all picking the 538. They're, the reps plus the senators. That's how many of the electors you get in the Electoral College. So 2 senators, and I think Colorado's got 9 or something. I don't know. So we got, 11 or so? So we got about, a dozen, give or take, a handful. So that's how many of the electors in the Electoral College that Colorado picks who actually get to vote for the president, not in November, but in the middle of December. So the number of each state's electors are the reps plus the senator. The 23rd Amendment gives D.C. 3 electoral votes. Maine and Nebraska is not winner-take-all, but the 48 states and the District of Columbia, they are winner-take-all. Winner-take-all. So the Electoral College. The Electoral College was a compromise. It was a compromise between those who thought that the president should be popularly elected by the American people, and then those who thought that Congress should pick the president. Can you imagine that? Congress picking the president, Nancy Pelosi and Schumer and whoever the senator, Mitch McConnell, that's who you want picking our president? Letting Congress pick our effing president? Jesus fucking Christ. Hillary got fucked in 2016. She won the popular vote. She won the American people's vote by 3 million, but lost the Electoral College by 78,000 votes. Therefore, Hillary Dillary Doc lost the presidency. Al Gore is going to get fucked out of the presidency in 2000. Al Gore won the popular vote. But just like Hillary lost the Electoral College vote, so therefore Al Gore lost the presidency. Al Gore lost the presidency because Al Gore lost the Electoral College. Ralph Nader didn't cost Al Gore the election. The Electoral College did. Plus the Supreme Court. And then there's Jeb Bush in Florida, and then Al Gore himself. He didn't even win his own home state of Tennessee. But there's a recent example. Let's talk about 1876, Rutherford B. Hayes versus Samuel J. Tilden. Samuel J. Tilden's going to get fucked. Rutherford B. Hayes is going to get elected, but only because he agreed to end Reconstruction, to pull the troops out of the South. 1876, Samuel J. Tilden got fucked. 1888, Grover Cleveland got fucked out of the presidency of the United States of America. In 1824, Andrew Jackson, son of a bitch, got fucked out of the American presidency. Why? Why did Andrew Jackson, that low-life, racist piece of shit, get fucked out of the American presidency? Because of aristocratic Electoral College shenanigans. 1824, Andrew Jackson won the popular vote, just like Hillary Clinton did, but he also won the Electoral College vote, just like Donald did, but he didn't win the presidency. Actually, Andrew Jackson won a plurality, so it wasn't exactly the same, but still he was the number one who got the most votes out of the American people, Andrew Jackson. Who got the most votes out of the Electoral College, Andrew Jackson. Who became president in 1825, John Quincy Adams. What the fuck? What the fuck just happened there? So John Quincy Adams is the loser. He didn't get the most votes. John Quincy Adams was 10 percentage points behind Andrew Jackson. John Quincy Adams was 35,000 votes behind Andrew Jackson, son of a bitch. So how come John Quincy Adams got to be president? He was second. John Quincy Adams came in second. Andrew Jackson came in first. And yet in 1825, for 4 years, it's John Quincy Adams. He became the president. Why? Because of Henry Clay and his corrupt bargain. This is what history calls this, the corrupt bargain of Henry Clay and John Quincy Adams. Henry Clay is going to swing his Electoral College votes over to John Quincy Adams, and therefore handing the presidency to John Quincy Adams, fucking Andrew Jackson over. Andrew Jackson, that racist, low-life piece of shit, out of the presidency. And none of these goddamn candidates are worth a fuck. I mean, my God, you got, Al Gore, the boy, you got Hillary, you got Shillery, Dillery, you got Samuel Tilden, you got Grover Cleveland, you got Andrew Jackson. All these candidates are terrible. I'm not saying that they're good people and we should have, I'm not being a biased partisan prick. I'm saying that democracy didn't work. The winner didn't get the presidency. The one who won, who got the most votes, got fucked out of the presidency. And I think that's fucking bullshit. So, the logic of the Electoral College is supposed to be this. If there's a demagogue, like an Andrew Jackson, like a Donald Trump, then the Electoral College is supposed to be used to keep that demagogue from getting the White House. How? Because the Electoral College has all the power in America to elect the president. All the power. The people don't have shit. 300 million Americans don't have any power whatsoever to elect the president. Just 538 electors elects the president, nobody else. And so even though these pieces of shit, right, Andrew Jackson and Hillary Clinton, Al Gore, these people, they won the popular vote, but lost it. What happened to them was bullshit. The presidency didn't go to the winner. In America, I mean, if you're not first, you're last. Isn't that what Talladega Nights teaches us? The presidency went to the loser. So the Electoral College, so Talladega Nights tells us if you're not first, you're last. Yet in America, with the Electoral College, this is, America, the great exporter of democracy. The United States of America with the Electoral College is saying the exact opposite of Talladega Nights. They're saying if you're not first, then you're first. America, whoever's national election system is fucked. It's fucked. And this is quite disconcerting. America, I am quite disconcerted. So why did Andrew Jackson get fucked out of the presidency in 1824 by Henry Clay, John Quincy Adams, a corrupt bargain in the Electoral College? Why did he get fucked out of the presidency? How was that okay? How was that allowed? How come the great Andrew Jackson accepted it and allowed it? Because those are the laws. That's the Constitution. And that's the goddamn point of the motherfucking Electoral College. It's the motherfucking point. That's the $1 million Charlie and the Chocolate Factory golden ticket. The whole point of the Electoral College is to overturn the election. The whole point of the Electoral College is a fail-safe switch. It's Newman in Jurassic Park. It's a backdoor fail-safe switch, like what's installed in the Diebold machines. The point of the Electoral College is to refine the opinion of the masses, the damn rabble, the bullshit crap rabble. They might just pick somebody popular who might come after the damn rich. And Madison says we got to protect the opulent minority from the dirty masses, the bullshit crap rabble. The founders did not really like democracy, some of them, but others, you had the Anti-Federalists. The Anti-Federalists hated the Electoral College. So even though the Electoral College electors who don't vote as their state votes are called faithless electors, that's not accurate. Those who don't vote consistent with their own state, it's faithless electors, it's Orwellian. Faithless electors, no. They are doing precisely what the founders intended for them to do. They're the faithful electors. The faithless electors are the ones that's going along, just being a conformist, going along with, lockstep and just the party. The Democrats told you to vote and then the Republicans told you to vote Republican. You're just going to be a partisan hack, a partisan piece of shit. So this is Hamilton, a quote from Hamilton, Federalist 68. Talents for low intrigue and the little arts of popularity may alone suffice to elevate a man to the first honors in a single state, but it will require other talents and a different kind of merit to establish him in the esteem and confidence of the whole Union. So Hamilton, what a snobby, stuck-up prick. So it's goddamn Alexander Hamilton. He thinks that it's okay to elect George Washington to be the monarch for life. to be an emperor for life. Yeah, he got elected, so now let George Washington just rule over America till he dies. So that's Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton was okay with putting the nation into debt because that would, bring us all together. A nice, big, fat, common collective debt. That's what we need to unify the nation for Alexander Hamilton. Now, apparently Hamilton saved the first major Wall Street financial crash in America, so, I guess he's got pros and cons, but he definitely did not like democracy. It was like, you got to have the sense of the people in it, but, actually getting the people involved, you don't want the crown to come from the gutter. For Alexander Hamilton, once you got elected president, then you were the king. You were the elected sovereign for life. You got to be the emperor. So the process of election afford a moral certainty that the office of president will never fall into the lot of any man who is not in an eminent degree endowed with the requisite qualifications. This is Federalist Papers 68, right? So the process of election afford a moral certainty that the office of president will never fall to the lot of any man who is not in an eminent degree endowed with the requisite qualifications. So how are we going to make sure that you don't get a goddamn Andrew Jackson or Donald Trump to become president? Well, we're going to go ahead and get this electoral college. You cannot trust the people's vote. The people are voting for Donald. Don't trust the people. He's a populist. Don't trust these populists. A bunch of founders, Madison, Hamilton, Publius, good old Publius, They were suspicious of democracy, which is why most Americans were excluded from getting the right to vote. Black people didn't get the right to vote. Women didn't get the right to vote. Brown people didn't get a right to vote. White men who did not own property weren't allowed to vote. Everybody, 90% of America didn't get the right to vote after the American Revolution. There's a reason why most Native Americans fought against America's War of Independence. The Senate wasn't even elected by the people at first. In fact, I think it might have been Andrew Jackson. It took an amendment to change that. The Senate wasn't even elected by the people. So the Senate wasn't even, and then they were going to say Congress could choose the president. What is the point of the Electoral College? Is to remove the people away from the choice of president as far as possible. To remove the people as far away from the choice of president as can possibly be conceived. The bureaucracy has kept the Electoral College frozen from doing its constitutional duty for quite some time. Many states passed laws forcing the electors to vote the same way as the voters of their state voted, but that goes against the very purpose of the Electoral College. I can't believe the Supreme Court hasn't decided these cases yet. Faithless electors, we had so-called faithless electors in 2016. Faith Spotted Eagle should have been our president. Bernie Sanders, John Kasich, Colin Powell should have been our president. That's who the Electoral College voted for. These electors are using the Electoral College for its original intended purpose. Faithless electors, they're the faithful electors. They're the only ones that's actually using the Electoral College for what it's meant for. That's why you got the Electoral College. They are the faithful electors of the original intent of the Electoral College. So it's good to review the rules. I mean, I'm sure everybody in America tries to memorize the U.S. Constitution, because why wouldn't you? With these goddamn police around here. So each state's electors meet in their respective state capital the first Monday after the second Wednesday of December to cast their votes. That's when the actual presidential election in America happens, in the middle of December, when the Electoral College gathers together to vote. Not November. Your vote doesn't fucking you think your vote matters, America? An American in America, your vote doesn't matter. You got the Electoral College. Your vote is null and void. The moment you vote, you wasted your time. It's the only time they even ask you for your opinion. It's the only moment that you even get a taste of power. The only moment you get a taste of democracy. And they don't even give you that power. So they don't give you shit in this democratic republic. How do we, the people, not have the power in a republic? In a democratic republic, how do we, the people, not have the power? So the middle of December is when the actual election happens. The first week of January, the results are tabulated by Congress before a joint session of Senate and the House Representatives, presided over by the Vice President as the presidential chair of the Senate. If the Electoral College does not produce a majority victor, then the House of Representatives must hold a contingent election amongst themselves where they pick the top 5 candidates that got the most Electoral College votes are listed for the House of Representatives to vote on, and then they've got to make sure there's a majority victor in the House of Representatives. The first vote, not the first vote, but one vote per state. Every state gets one vote, so each delegation, Alaska delegation, Texas delegation, all their representatives have to get together, and they got to decide who their one state vote is going to go for only one candidate, one state, one candidate, which is interesting because I thought it's not the point of the Electoral College. I'm talking about one vote. One person, one vote. That's what I believe. You're a person, you voted, your vote counts. But, apparently, so 26 is the majority of 50, so the winner must win at least 26 states in that contingent election in the House of Representatives. So that's how you get the Green Party, the Libertarian, or the Independent to win. You want Howie Hawkins to win, all you got to do, deprive Donald, deprive Biden of a majority, make sure neither one of them get 270 Electoral College votes. You do that by getting as many faithless, so-called faithless electors as possible, and also by making it as close of an election as possible. The closer the election, more likely it only, be a couple of electoral votes, and those faithless electors will be so fucking vital, they'll be so crucial, they'll be so key, because they could have decided the president. Instead of giving the president, they went ahead and decided somebody else. I don't like these two duopoly candidates. I'm going to give somebody else a chance to become the president of the United States of America. That's how a Green Party or an independent, that's how anybody in America could win. The Electoral College voter can vote for any person that they want to vote for. They could just vote for Paul Rudd. They could just vote for, Pat Buchanan. It doesn't matter. They could just vote for whoever the fuck ever. Because that's the point. The Electoral College is like an extinct or a near-extinct volcano. It can be awakened at any moment in time. It can be awakened this December. And the whole point is to make sure a demagogue, a.k.a. populist, to throw out the Donald Trumps and to throw out the Andrew Jacksons of the world. If he beats Biden or vice versa, Biden and Donald are both deprived of an absolute majority of the Electoral College, and it goes to the House of Representatives. A tie goes to the House. A tie or a plurality goes to the House of Representatives. And so by keeping the election very, very close, and by encouraging as many of the Electoral College voters to become faithless electors, to vote their conscience, to break out of duopoly, the Democrats are the ones that pick the Democratic slate, and Republicans pick the Republican slate, so it seems like it would be a hard sell to get them to switch, but I feel like if we knew the system and we got the video cameras, we got C-SPAN just 24/7, we grab them by the scruff of the neck and we force them to vote the way we want to vote. Vote your conscience. This is one time, one chance in U.S. history you can actually do something for your country. You're going to pick these two right-wing neoliberal assholes. Pick anybody else. Anybody is better than these two fucks. Literally, any motherfucker is better than these two. Pick some random homeless guy. That's better than these two. So that's what I would do if I was running for president or, advising the Green Party to run for president. I would just do the Electoral College strategy. Don't even try to win any states. Just try to win their electors. You don't need a single fucking voter. Don't shake a single hand. You only want to talk to the electors, and they're usually the Republican and Democrat diehards. They're really the rabble. This is, the whole point of Electoral College is to keep and protect the aristocratic system. So the Electoral College is a near-extinct volcano, but it can be awakened. The whole point is to chuck out a goddamn populist demagogue like Donald or a Bernie Sanders or a Andrew Jackson, any man of the people, right? That's the whole point of the Electoral College. They're trying to protect the aristocratic system. Any man of the people that might break the aristocratic system, they got themselves a little kill switch, a little fail-safe kill switch, a little nuclear option to just, you know what, we're going to allow, it's like the Death Star. We got the Death Star, but we're going to just, you know, this little hole right here, if a little photon goes into this hole, the whole damn thing blows up. That's the Electoral College. The Electoral College is that photon going into the Death Star to blow up the Death Star. So by keeping the election very, very close, that makes the possibility of a dark horse candidate who only got 1 or 2 Electoral College votes to be put on the list of the top 5 candidates who the House has to vote for, and then get the House to vote for him. So deprive the Electoral College. If you can't get the Electoral College to go your way, then get the House to go your way. And then if you don't get the House to go your way, then I guess we're just going to have ourselves a constitutional presidential crisis in our head. So Electoral College is a backdoor kill switch. It's a secret hole in the Death Star. All you need is 1 photon shot to destroy it all. Electoral College is a backdoor kill switch. And if the Electoral College is so goddamn great, how come none of the states have it? Only the federal government. If the Electoral College is so great, how come Alabama hasn't adopted an Electoral College for themselves? How come Kentucky and all these right-wing states that want to protect the Electoral College, how come you haven't adopted an Electoral College for your own state? None of these people are clamoring for the state to adopt themselves an Electoral College because they want their votes to matter. They think Electoral College is great for America, then it should be equally great for Montana, Mississippi, and Alabama. But nobody in Mississippi is saying, hey, let's get an Electoral College here in our state, because they know on the surface, on the face, it's a goddamn stupid, fucking shitty idea. If Electoral College is so great, we would be pushing for it, but instead it's an ancient relic that got stuck in by a compromise in the beginning by a bunch of slave-owning, you know, right-wing totalitarian pieces of shit. They were revolutionaries until they quashed Shays' rebellion, then they became the totalitarian government. In fact, they could have been the revolution that stopped all the other revolutions. So, okay, America, if you're all about, you know, overly convoluted, complicated election systems, then you should absolutely adore and love and cherish instant runoff voting. That's what you like, big, cumbersome, instant runoff voting, even that is simpler. IRV is simpler than the Electoral College, but you're going to defend this stupid, cumbersome, Byzantine empire bullshit. So, what's my point? My point is, Colorado, vote yes on Proposition 113. Kill the Electoral College. Fuck the Electoral College. Straight to goddamn hell. Fuck the Electoral College. Every which way. Up, down, left, right, sideways. Fuck the Electoral College. To be honest, here in Colorado, I can't really lose. If we keep the Electoral College, then the Democrats get all the power when it comes to picking the president. But it's not fair, and it's not democratic, and I don't like it. So I'd rather be on the right side of history. If I'm just a partisan hack, then I'll say, hey, let's keep the Electoral College so that way the Democrats can run Colorado forever and ever and ever. And that's actually a very convincing argument. That's a very convincing argument. I'm okay with Colorado being a blue state. You want to, you know, get to a right-wing state, you go to a move. Get the fuck out of my state. We're progressives around here. We're left-wing progressives. If you're a right-wing, you know, conservative, then this is not your state. You got other states. Half the country is blue, half the country is red. Go to the state that you're more ideologically aligned with. Why fucking drive yourself crazy being the one motherfucker on the block that, you know, disagrees with everybody else? So when it comes to Electoral College, you know, I can't lose. If the Electoral College stays, then Colorado will always vote for the Democrats, so therefore my vote is not necessary, it's not needed. It's great that we're not the swing. I mean, it makes us less relevant with the presidential election, but it makes our conversation more honest. In Colorado, we actually got a conversation between the left-wing ideas and the right-wing ideas. But in the national election, it's just two right-wingers. It's just two capitalists. It's just two warmongering imperialists. It's just two right-wing capitalist imperialists. That's what we got. That's all we've ever had. We've had one socialist one fucking time. Maybe FDR a long time ago. But we've never had a heart. We've never actually had a left-winger run for president. We've never had a left-winger run for president. So here in Colorado, our conversation is much more honest. I think it's actually it's where I like it. It's where they say they try to put the finger on the pulse of the nation. The conversation that Colorado is having is the conversation that I believe America should be having. So, yeah, do I want to protect the Democrats just to protect the Democrats? No, they typically are left-wingers, but that's the thing is you think they're fighting for you, and then, some of those right-wing Democrats don't want to fight for you whatsoever. But there's progressives. So the right-wing Democrats are actually the Republicans, and the progressive Democrats are the actual Democrats, if you want to put it that way, but really right-wing, left-wing, liberal, conservative. The ideological, there's always going to be people that say change things, and there's always going to be people that say, no, let's keep everything the same. So you're always going to have your liberals and your conservatives, and then people, are mixed themselves. People have liberal and conservative beliefs. Every single one of us is both a liberal and a conservative. So, yes, Colorado on Proposition 113. Fuck that Electoral College. Kill the Electoral College. Vote yes on Proposition 113. 9:40, John Masters. I'm talking about the 2020 election. Today's Thursday, September 17, 9:40 a.m., Southern Colorado. Peace!